Angriest Redditor.
Now,
Let's
I've seen a
watch.
lot of people say that I look and sound like a Redditor, which is one of the most insulting things you can ever say about another human being. But what if I force fed you a hard truth? What if I told you I don't really use Reddit? My narwhal doesn't bacon at midnight. I'll occasionally go on there just to see if there's any breaking news that I might be unaware of, but it's very infrequent. And I never, go into the swamp of a
I only
comment
use
section
Reddit
on the
for like
platform until
some
today.
like
I
very
don't know
obscure
what possessed
questions
me to
and
do
some
this. It must
guy
have
on
been
Reddit
some
answers
kind of
it.
divine moment that just grabbed me by the shoulders and possessed me, told me that I needed to read some comments today, and I am so thankful I did. I stumbled upon true beauty with an argument that could only ever happen on Reddit that perfectly encapsulates the quintessential Reddit user. In this moment, I am euphoric, thanks to finding this fucking angry Redditor and everyone who engaged with him on this day. It started in the most unsuspecting location, but then again, that's where all good fairy tales begin, in the place you least expect them. So, it was a clip posted from this podcast. Now, the clip doesn't matter. I'm not going to play the clip. I'm sure you probably already recognize the person here. Her name is Bobby. She runs a podcast where she interviews famous celebrities, and her whole shtick is she makes things awkward, which is a very hit or miss format, so it's led to a lot of debate on why is she so popular. Also, is she an industry plant because she seemingly blew up overnight? She landed an interview with Drake while she was still relatively new and not massive. So it just started raising a lot of red flags, and a lot of people started saying it must be an industry plant. And then she started getting even more superstar celebrities. Like this clip is from an interview she did with Lil Yachty, and it's just been a lot of hoopla around her and her content. The only reason I'm even giving you this lore dump is because it is
Yeah, I have no
necessary
idea who
to
she
put into
is.
context what started this argument.
Absolutely
And it's
no
the entire
clue.
reason I went into the comments section, really, of this video. You see, Bobby's content is very polarizing. On TikTok, people love Bobby. They're cheering her on, pumping their fist. Go, Bobby! Let's get it! Fuck yeah! And then on Twitter, it's boo! Oh, brother, she stinks. Get out of town, scram. This is garbage. So two very different responses to her content on two different platforms, but I've never really seen Reddit's opinion on it. I've never seen them weigh in, and curiosity got the best of me. I marched into Mordor, went to the comments in order to get an answer to the question, and most of the comments were pretty negative towards the interview, but there was one comment that spawned a whole series of dominoes to fall. So let's begin our journey. I'm going to blank out their name here. I don't want anyone to go harass anyone involved in this situation. So this individual comes forth and says, "What grown man sits down and watches this bullshit, then have the nerves to repost this garbage to Reddit?" Now this comment received a lot of love, over 400 upvotes, which is nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of high quality karma. Unfortunately, no Reddit Gold, Reddit Platinum, or Reddit Silver was gifted to it, so we weren't blessed with the edit "thanks for the gold, stranger," or anything like that. But still, the community responded very positively to this comment, and most of the comment section here echoed the same sentiment that they didn't really understand the appeal of the clip. Now, all of this doesn't matter. You can wipe your ass with all of this now, because going forward, this comment spiraled into something that had nothing to do with the original post anymore. And it went fucking insano style. Now we're introduced to our primary antagonist of Season 1. So, from out of nowhere, our main character gets challenged. Someone steps in and says, "Lol, you're on the Hot Wheels sub, dude. Weird to take shots at what grown men should be into when your interests include Hot Wheels. Different people like different things. Leave it be." So he goes into the post history of this individual and notices that they are a frequent poster on the Hot Wheels subreddit. And he's using it to take some shots at him to try and showcase, like, hey man, you say grown men shouldn't be into that, but I could also say grown men shouldn't be into Hot Wheels. You see how that works? And he's not wrong. He's coming for the throat here. You could absolutely say the same thing. What grown men would be so into Hot Wheels that they'd go on to Reddit and talk about it all the time? I personally have no problem with that at all, and I don't think this poster does either. He's just using it to make a point. I think whatever hobby you're into, whatever you collect, I think it's great. I think that shit slaps. Having something that you're passionate about that you would collect it, I think is a cool thing. I mean, I have
That's
fucking
true.
cards framed on my wall from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon,
I guess.
right? Like, I get it. But this really struck a nerve with this guy. He responded by saying, "Grown man liking cars? Who would have thought? I see you ignored all the other subs. Maybe I should waste my time on rap and movie subs like all the other low IQ Redditors across the pond." And if you're an astute observer, you'll notice that
Okay,
he's
he
no
is a
longer
Redditor.
enjoying the luxury of some
Definitely a
updoots.
Redditor.
The subreddit has turned against him, thrown him to the wolves. He is now being flooded with downvotes. And a downvote is a fate worse than death to a Redditor. It's kryptonite to Superman. The downvotes start hitting him, over 100 downvotes. And I can see why. This feels very insecure to come at him like this. Like, his point was pretty clear, but then he, tries to, I don't know, explain away why it's, really in line with being a grown-ass man because he likes cars. He's like, oh, well, yeah, grown men like cars, Hot Wheels are cars, duh. I mean, maybe I should just go to rap and movie subreddits like you low IQ plebeians. It's really, really cringy Reddit behavior now. The bad boy comes back with a tough-to-swallow pill. Hot Wheels aren't cars, mate. They're toys. Talk about low IQ, haha. You're not better than anybody else, sorry to tell you.
Holy, man.
To which he responds, the fact you had to come back and edit that pathetic response, LMAO. And then he just says, go play with your vroom vrooms. His collection of downvotes is starting to eclipse his collection of Hot Wheels cars at this point. They just keep pouring in. As you can see, most people are rallying behind the other guy who's just saying, brother, they're toys, not real cars. And he's right. He is fluent in facts. He is spittin'. They are not real cars. They are toys. There's nothing wrong with collecting them or liking them, but I don't understand why this goofball is talking about it as if they are real vehicles. He's like, got this bravado going on, like this machismo, like, oh yeah, grown men liking cars, who would have thought? It's Hot Wheels, man. They're still collectible toys that you can play with, and they are made for kids, but there's nothing wrong with liking them or collecting them as an adult. Fucking Pokemon cards are made for kids too. I collect them. There's no shame in it, but you're acting so insecure about it and pretending that it's something that it's not. And he does the classic Reddit 101 when it comes to argument, where he doesn't actually address what was said. He just says, LMAO, edited your pathetic response, big L, basically. His response wasn't pathetic. It was totally fine. You didn't counter it or anything at all. He just made you look foolish, and you continue to make yourself look like even more of a clown here. In response to the vroom vroom comment, he says, I'm changing spark plugs on my 700 horsepower F-150 right now. I will when I get done, though. And now, here enters the sidekick to our main supervillain here, who chimes in and says, you're trying too hard. To which this guy responds, actually, I'm low on boost. If I was trying too hard, I'd be at 950 horsepower range. It doesn't get more Redditor than that. Oh my fucking god. I could feel the fedora tip through the computer screen here. Milady, my horsepower is quite low, actually. It's just, shit, it hurts to read. It really does. The guy's absolutely right. He is trying so hard. I half expected him to go into, the Navy SEALs copy pasta. What'd you say to me, you little bitch? I've got 500 confirmed Hot Wheels with 6,000 horsepower and 400 RPM turbo booster NOS accelerators. Brother, it's Reddit. You're not Dominic Toretto. You're talking about Hot Wheels. It's not that deep. Even if he was being honest and was changing the spark plugs in his F-150, why would you say that? It just makes you look like such a fucking loser to say that during your heated little scuffle online. It's so cringy. If that's what you were actually doing, keep it to yourself. You don't need to try and prove that you're a man to a stranger on Reddit. All hell breaks loose right now, and the cringe is rated E for everyone because he starts just lashing out at anybody in the thread. So someone else made a comment, and he went through his post history, I believe, and found that he was on the WWE subreddit. So he calls him out saying, WWE isn't real, bro, sorry to tell you. Maybe you should pick up a real hobby like learning about cars. To which they respond, toys. A slam dunk, he's right. It's all fucking about Hot Wheels so far. So then he comes back and says, yes, I'm not delusional like you, Mr. SmackDown vs. Raw. That's not even an insult. The WWE is extraordinarily popular. Hot Wheels Henry is just really scrapping for any morsel, any crumb of an insult that he can, you know, slap together, and it's not working. It's not. He's fighting like 16 different battles from all fronts here on this comment thread, and he's losing every single one of them. Our boy then goes full armchair psychologist. You actually are ashamed deep down. That's the whole reason you chimed in on my comment. You felt attacked when I said, "What grown man watches this?" It brought back traumatic memories of you being bullied for liking WWE in this day and age. He's like, no, I commented just because of the toxicity. To which he says, I'd rather have a Hot Wheels collection in my garage next to my turbo truck than have Rey Mysterio and Triple H posters all over my wall. I don't know who's getting bullied for liking the WWE in this day and age. It's extraordinarily popular. Maybe like 10 years ago, but today, no shot. I think he's fighting Ghost with that one. You're much more likely to get bullied for collecting Hot Wheels cars as a grown-ass man.
Yep.
Case in point.
True.
Though, he's not actually getting bullied for that because no one really has a problem with what you collect as a hobby. The reason people are making fun of him here in the subreddit is because of his attitude, where he views his hobby as just superior to whatever else everyone's interested in. Oh, you see, no, I actually collect Hot Wheels cars, like a real grown, grizzled, strong, big-muscled man, not this lame garbage. Like, it just sounds like pinky up, high off your own fumes, sniffing your own farts kind of garbage where you view yourself as superior than others just because you think your interests are better. So you're just shitting on everyone else who called it out. Like, no one cares if you collect Hot Wheels cars in your garage and it's right next to your fucking Optimus Prime truck. Yeehaw. That's great.
I
You're
disagree.
just being an asshole
Fuck this
about
guy.
it, which is why people are just making fun of you in the subreddit. His rampage continues, and this time he's pissing on sacred, hallowed ground. He insults RuneScape. He says, you drive a stock car and play RuneScape, I know you're drowning in pussy. He's saying it sarcastically. So he checked the comment history of this guy, saw that he played RuneScape, and he's using it to attack him. Which is a wild one. Like, yeah, RuneScape's got some, you know, less than stellar things about it, but there's nothing wrong with RuneScape at all. It's still an extremely popular MMO that is well loved to this day. And the guy's like, I don't understand how a dude who plays with toy cars thinks he's above people on movie and rap subreddits and people who play RuneScape. We're all on the same site getting in our respective nerdy communities. What makes toy cars better than talking about media or playing a game? Which is fair. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And then he just goes, you don't understand because you can't even turn a wrench on your own car. Of course, a mechanic is going to be into Hot Wheels considering he works around cars all day. Do you need me to further break it down for you to understand? Oh, just that aura of insecure loser is very potent. It's like in Bleach when they first meet Kenpachi and his spiritual pressure is so strong that it just glues people to the ground. They can't even stand up. That's what his loser aura is doing to me right now. It's rough. Why do you feel the need to defend your hobby when no one's actually attacking that? They're attacking your behavior, where you think what you do is better than everyone else and can't understand that different people are going to like different things and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the only thing people are picking apart. That's what started this whole thing. You were saying, who watches this garbage? What grown man would do this? And one other guy was like, hey, you're a grown man who plays with Hot Wheels. You understand? Like, different people like different things. It could have been so easy to just meet in the middle, shake hands, and be like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, this wasn't for me. Just like Hot Wheels collecting, maybe not for you. But he just refuses to accept that reality. Instead, he's just going, no, 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 you don't understand because you can't turn a wrench in your own car. He just keeps diving in on things other people like. Do you just really call RuneScape a fun multiplayer game? Responding to someone saying that it was a fun game, there's nothing wrong with it. You're not playing COD, dude. You're playing a game that's synonymous with virgin weirdos like yourself. Deaf embarrassing. He's just trying way, way, way too hard. I can feel the tears in his eyes as he types these comebacks. Now, up until this point, I had a big smile on my face reading these for the first time, but when I read his next response here, I let out an audible gasp. So the guy, once again, is still going in about RuneScape, like, you know, it's just an MMO, you know, whatever, you're being a judgmental prick, and can't handle it when people roast you back. So you start combing through comment histories, massive Redditor mindset. And his response is, I can definitely handle it, LMAO. I just shit on 10 different no-lifes, including you, that wanted to be relevant. There's multiple comments saying who watches this, but of course you want to reply to mine for the free clout and upvotes from the Fem girls. I don't even know what fantasy land this guy's in. He just went into Narnia, and he's not coming back, I guess.
He just has to be
trolling that guy.
We've lost him for
good in Delusion. farming the free clout from a Reddit comment section. What clout? And where did the Fim girls come from?
Yeah, he's just
and
trolling.
I don't understand. There's so many layers to this
Just
onion. I don't even know
trolling,
where to
man.
begin with picking it apart. So, first of all, he can't handle anyone roasting him back. He has showcased that very beautifully. He's had a full-blown conniption over this. He did not shit on 10 different people. He just made a fool of himself in response to 10 different people. And he says
He's
that
trolling
they just wanted to be
himself,
relevant.
I guess.
So I'm guessing this guy has a huge ego, and he thinks that he's some kind of Reddit power user, perhaps. Like, his karma speaks for itself, right? Like, this is a big guy. And you guys are only responding to him because they're trying to suckle some clout from his teats, his big, ample bosom of relevancy. It's wild. It's so wild to me. So I went to his account because I did a double take. Is this like a big Reddit user? No, he's not. Like, I don't know what like the highest upper echelon of Reddit karma farming is, like the biggest karma accounts, but his is not very high. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. But even if it was, if he's the #1 Reddit poster, there is no such thing as Reddit clout for commenters. That doesn't exist. Like, Reddit is the only social media platform where if you're extremely active, the #1 account on Reddit, it doesn't do dick for you. It does less than nothing for you. If you get Twitter famous, you can at least turn that into some kind of like sponsorship revenue or lead people to other platforms to maybe follow you. Now you can even make direct ad revenue from engagement, I guess. TikTok, obviously, you can make a whole career out of. Even Facebook, obviously, YouTube, Twitch, every other social media platform, if you are a power user of it and get like a big audience on there, you can make a whole career out of it. Reddit, if you dedicate your life to being a Reddit power user, all you do is get laughed at. That's your big reward. You get insulted for wasting your time. It is the only social media platform where you cannot make a career out of being a power user of it. So even if he was the #1 user on here, it wouldn't matter. And there's no clout that anyone would be able to get from this exchange. This was just one of the most bafflingly out of touch comments I think I've ever read on that platform. Now, another Redditor came in and said, "No way you just said free clout when referring to Reddit comments." Also stunned by the statement. And he double responds here saying, "Your plan worked, dude. You got all the femboys wanting to suck you off. And since we're on Reddit, I'll just go ahead and do it."
Yeah.
The wrong form of your, actually. And then his next response is, "Y'all should become friends and play together. Y'all would fit in perfectly with the rest of the RuneScape community."
Okay.
I'm at a loss for words. This is kind of where the whole thing ends. And man, what a banger of an exchange it was. It's just such an adventure. All starting from someone...
This definitely warranted a 18-minute video.
Look at where we ended up.
18 minutes for this garbage? Okay.
This is a wacky argument.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching
got to actually find for
this
myself.
with me, right?
I got to come into this in the wild. I didn't get linked to this. No one told me about this. I just happened to be perusing the comment section and then saw this argument unfold. And I got to go on an unexpected journey with it. And I really just had to share it. I had to. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.